Today's action comes from the Meadowbank Sports Center as the Northern Conference leaders, the Edinburgh Rocks, offer a great big Scottish welcome to the Sheffield Sharks. Yes, last season Coach Finch did dominate Coach Brandon's team, but what a difference a year can make. Hello, I'm Kevin Kaler, and I'm joined today by Tony Winless of the Milton Keynes Lions and the head coach of the Newcastle Eagles, Craig Lynch. Gentlemen, welcome, and I know we are all looking forward to the Sharks versus the Rocks. But first, let's take a look at the tables. In the Southern Conference, Birmingham has a solid lead. Milton Keynes has to find consistency, and the big news here is the Leopards are holding everyone else up. Now, we see in the Northern Conference a top-of-the-table battle. If Edinburgh wins, they extend their lead. If not, Sheffield jumps on top of them. Chester and Leicester have yet to join the winners column. Fellas, you guys had the opportunity to play against each other previously in the Cup. Winless dropped 40 points on you. How did you let him do that?
We tried to stop him. I mean, Tony is a great player when he comes out and plays, and he really killed us in that game. It was a big disappointment for us, but credit to him and Milton Keynes for coming up to our place. But we'll be better.
In the conference, in your conference, who do you look forward to playing against the most?
Well, basically, I know you know it's the London Towers because everybody really hyped them up to be the team to beat. And when you beat a team like that, it kind of motivates everybody else on the team. I mean, the team system. And, that's what I figured, London Towers.
What about you, Craig?
There's so many great matchups for us, Kevin. The 9X is a beautiful place to play. But in saying that, we play Edinburgh 4 times this year, and to come up here with their crowd, they bring people down to our game, a lot of people down to our game. So there's a bit of a rivalry starting between Edinburgh and Newcastle.
Okay, so the action takes place on the court, and down on the playing surface, we're joined by Suzanne Dando.
Thanks very much, Kev. Just to let you know, though, news just recently, and sadly for the Sharks, Andre McLeod suffered a torn quadricep muscle last night. He went into surgery today, but it's not looking too hopeful, and he might have to sit the rest of the season out. So, Andre, we keep our fingers crossed for you that we see you back on court very soon. Now, if there's 2 guys who know an awful lot about each other here tonight, of course, it's the coaches Chris Finch and Jim Brandon. We all remember the success they shared at the Sheffield Sharks in the early days as player and coach. So it goes without saying that there's deep respect between these 2 guys. For Chris Finch tonight, he knows he's got a strong team, but he believes there's room for improvement, and he's quick to guard against mental lapses because he feels that's an area that's been a problem for his guys this season so far. For Jimmy Brandon and his boys, well, they've started off with much more purpose this year, and they've set their sights on winning something. They're a very athletic team, they've got height, and they're playing aggressively, and they've also started this season off a lot stronger than the last one. This time last year, Edinburgh were rock bottom of the league and in the middle of an 11-game losing streak. 12 months on, and Jimmy Brandon's team lead the Northern Conference and want to celebrate that in traditional Scottish style.
This year has just been a lot more comfortable situation for all of us, knowing who we had and knowing that we had that chemistry and hitting the floor with a level of optimism of what we can achieve. You know, we're not there yet, but if we work hard enough and smart enough and stay focused, no telling what we can do.
We got a new team. We got a better team overall. I think we're deeper this year too with the new additions we made. So it's been nice coming out knowing that you can win a game. Even when you're not playing your best basketball, you still can come out and get a win. That's good.
The Rocks have been strengthened by the summer acquisition of shooting guard Joel Burns and the off-season's biggest capture, perennial all-star John McCord.
From a basketball perspective, everyone said it was a dumb move. I don't think so. I look at the people that's here now. I knew who was coming, so I figured, we would have a better chance of winning up here. And if early season form indicates anything, we've proven to people that we can compete.
Sheffield had Edinburgh over a barrel last year, beating them in all 3 meetings, including 2 heavy home defeats here at Meadowbank.
I think that's the ultimate test for us so far. I mean, they're a good team. They've been a good team for years. They got the great guards out there with Nick Rankin and Terrell Myers, and it should be a good matchup. I think that's going to be the ultimate test for us so far this season.
Last season, Sheffield won their opening 13 games, but this year the Sharks' start hasn't been quite as smooth.
And we've had to do a lot of different things preparation-wise, which we weren't planning on. A team's lost its way. We haven't really strung 2 good halves of basketball together yet, and that's what we're going to need against Edinburgh.
One area that Sheffield has struggled with is around the boards, and they are a long way behind the high standards they set last year.
They're always a key area for this squad. I think we aren't the best rebounding team in the league right now. The statistics aren't lying to us. We need to improve on that.
We got to control the lane. So, I mean, I take that upon my shoulders mostly because that's my game, rebounding. So we just got to control the lane, try to keep New and Grays off the boards. If we do that, we win.
A key area to Sheffield's success is their depth, and the Rocks are well aware of the threat it poses.
Everyone worries about Terrell and Nate. You got players like Cawthorn and Will that will kill you, and even the guys come off their bench. So we just have to play a smart game on both ends of the court tonight, defense and offensive.
Former Derby backcourt combination Burns and Reinkin go head-to-head for the first time tonight since their summer moves.
We started battling back in college, so it's going to be fun going against each other again, and hopefully we'll come out on top.
I know Nate. I practice with him every day and practice against him every day. And I should have an advantage, but you never know until the game starts.
With two starting fives brimming with all-star talent, there are a host of players who have the potential to make an impact on the game. But everybody knows about Edinburgh's sixth man.
We feel we have an advantage with our crowd here because they give you that extra energy you need. And you know, when you're down and things aren't going right, you know, you get that loudness in the gym. It boosts your spirits and boosts your energy. You know, we feed off of that.
They do have a good crowd, a loud crowd, and you know, I think that they feed off of their crowd, and Coach Brandon gets the crowd fired up, and he feeds off them as well. So, getting out on top of them at the start of the game and not letting the crowd get into it is a big factor, really, and we're going to have to do that.
4-1 tonight, dog.
There'll be a few drams sunk tonight if the Rocks win. But not by these two.
Hopefully those pictures were taken about a month ago, not yesterday. Now here you have, for me, I think is important, is the matchup of the three-man. You have Peter Scanterbury, the veteran of the veterans, against the vibrant John McCord. How do you see that?
Well, that's going to be a key one. I've got a lot of experience, of course, with Pete, and I did feel confident putting Pete on people like Dorsey and McCord in the past. Defensively, if he's not injured and his energy level's high, Pete will do a good job. But John McCord will do a good job for 40 minutes if he's healthy, and it'll be a tough, kind of a tough lineup there for him.
For this game, the guard position also looms big. Which set of guards do you see as having the advantage?
Well, I look at Terrell Myers, one of the best shooters in the game. He's not a great defensive player, but he gets you some points. But Ted Berry, everybody knows Ted Berry. He can just change the whole game around. So I really look at Ted Berry and Joe Burns being the top guards in this game tonight.
Will the depth of Sheffield have a big advantage in this contest?
It will. I think they've lost a little bit not having McLeod out there. So I think that McKinney and Payne are going to have to come off. And I think they're real crucial, as Ian McLean is, because if they come out and hit the threes, it gives their stars a bit of a rest. If they're on, then it makes it difficult for any team that plays Sheffield.
In that VT, they talked about the battle of Chris Finch going up against his old mentor, Jimmy Brandon. What is it like for you when you had to go against one of your former coaches?
Hey, it's no doubt about it. I want to drop 40 on his butt, but hey, anytime you go against an old friend or old coach, you want to win a game so you can talk trash after the game. You know, it's all in respect though, but it's all about winning.
Who do you see winning today?
Well, I mean, I look at this crowd out here. I go for the Rocks tonight.
Who do you have?
I wouldn't put money on either one, but I think Sheffield, with their experience, probably may come through in this game.
Okay, so it's time to meet the players, and nobody does the intros better than Daniel Routledge.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Yes, the cheerleaders already out. The noise is starting to be cranked up by the home fans. It will get noisy in this building tonight. It certainly is one of the most intimidating venues in the land to play in. First out come the Sheffield Sharks, led out by number 5, Ian McKinney. At number 8 is the veteran Peter Scanterbury. Number 9, the shooter Mike Payne. Number 11, player of the year for last season, Terrell Myers. At 12 is backcourt partner Nate Reinking. At number 14, Todd Cawthorn. 15 is Locker Okori. At number 20, Richard Wendell, and with the towel on his head, number 24, Will Johnson. The coach is Chris Finch. Now the Rocks fans getting to their feet, the drums being banged as the Rocks get ready to enter the playing area. Coming out first is James Steele. At number 5, local hero Ted Berry. Number 6, Gordon Smith, coming out next. At number 9 is Keith the Bunyan. Number 10, big roar for the big man, Brendan Graves, as he comes out. At number 13, probably the best Scottish man ever to play the game, Ian McLean. At number 15, Michael New. Ross Frisk wears 22 for the Rocks. 23, the summer signing from Derby, is Joel Burns. Number 24, Stuart Mackay, the big Scottish international. And finally, the man, John McCord, wearing number 25, and they love him here at the Meadowbank. The coach is, of course, Jim Brandon.
Two former Coaches of the Year go head-to-head. Will the student continue to shine, or will the teacher finally have his day? Keep it here to find out.
When you're having a day and a half, you need a chocolate and a half. Cadbury's Dairy Milk. It's a glass and a half that makes it a chocolate and a half.
Yeah, I found out something really interesting. She goes jogging every morning at 8 a.m.
The hamburgers have got to go. She's a vegetarian.
She just bought a load of poetry books.
More to say than you pay as you go from 1 to 1.
www.rightthat'sit.com www.youarehavingalaugh.com www.ah.com.
For the next 4 weeks in the Sunday Times, Mastering the Net, a free step-by-step guide on how to get the most out of the internet.
www.wahey.com.
It's a scorching 98.6 degrees inside your mouth.
Yeah.
But inside a Wrigley's Extra mouth. Wrigley's Extra. It's the cool, minty blast that makes your mouth go. Wrigley's Extra sugar-free gum, the fresh breath sensation.
A Worthington Cup third-round double, and both ties must be decided on the night. On Tuesday, Birmingham versus Newcastle. Division 1 promotion contenders facing a Premiership test against the rejuvenated Magpies.
Great goal!
Then on Wednesday, Southampton face Liverpool. With the Saints capable of beating anyone at the Dell, the men from Merseyside will need to produce their best.
It's a great effort!
Worthington Cup football, Tuesday and Wednesday at 7:30, live on Sky Sports 2.
The top two scorers, Myers and McCord, battled out as the Sheffield Sharks are visitors to the Edinburgh Rocks. It's over to our commentators, Craig Lynch and Daniel Routledge.
Thank you very much, Kevin. The noise is starting to reverberate around here. Let's take a quick look at the two team lists for tonight, starting with the hometown Edinburgh Rocks, who have got off to a tremendous start, but facing Sheffield tonight and Manchester next week. The next 8 days should really show the Rocks championship potential. Looking at the starting 5 and the likes of Joel Burns, Michael New and Brendan Graves often get overlooked in favour of all-star duo McCord and Berry. But if those 3 don't show up, it'll be a difficult night for the Scotsmen. To the Sheffield Sharks, and for the second year in a row, the Sharks have almost certainly lost a player to a season-ending injury. Whether there's another Pete Scantlebury about for the Sharks to pick up remains to be seen. And in the meantime, how will his absence affect them? To the starting 5, and Myers and Ryan King have gelled nicely together in the backcourt. Sheffield's problems this year, though, have come inside on the boards. Faced with the big men of the likes of New, Graves and McCord, it won't be an easy battle for Johnson and co, but one they need to win, Craig Lynch. It's going to be important that they get going on the glass early on.
The boards are big for both teams out there, I think, and I think that they look at Edinburgh with McCord and the big fella Graves, that Sheffield's going to have to counter those boards somehow.
Here's Terrell Myers with the first offensive move of the night, wave off the score. The foul was on the floor, and it was on Joel Burns.
And so you've also got Michael New out there rebounding, so Edinburgh looks like a good rebounding team.
Cawthorn to Scantlebury. Scantlebury fires up along the baseline, rebound Michael New. Joel Burns going against Nate Rankin, former teammates last season at Derby. They played each other before, though. They were both at the same conference at college. Berry going along the baseline, had it knocked away, last touch by Ted Berry, and the Sharks will get it back. And the Sheffield Sharks favourites to win this by a couple of points tonight, Craig. Would you agree with that?
You'd have to go with Sheffield Sharks. They've had the experience, their championship last year, and until people say otherwise, you got to say that they're going to be a good basketball team.
Here's Ryan King to Cawthorn. Inside is Terrell Myers. Myers to Johnson, wide open in the paint, and he converts. McCord and Scantlebury, the matchup that Kevin Cato was talking about at the top of the show. McCord with a good step, finds Graves underneath. Graves under pressure, off the bottom of the board, still has it, and sticks it back in. He's a big man in that paint.
That's 2 points for him. I think he's averaging about 3 points a game, so if Graves actually gets on the offensive board and puts it in, it's going to be difficult.
Sweet move by Myers at the other end to put the Sharks back in front. Michael New to Brendan Graves. Oh, great feed inside to Michael New.
Easy basket. I think the guard matchups are awful good tonight. You see two quality guards out there from Derby last year up there against each other, and I'm willing to see who's going to win that battle.
Backing in is Will Johnson over Graves. Nice move, but Michael New pulls down the rebound. Berry lobs up the alley-oop too high. Graves pulls it down, and the two-handed slam brings the fans to their feet.
If I'm not mistaken, that's 4 points for Graves now, so he's doing better than his average. Only a few minutes in the game.
Ted Berry with the defensive foul on Terrell Myers. It'll be a Sharks ball from the side. Cawthorn finds Scantlebury round on the far side. Ryan King coming along the baseline. Myers inside to Johnson, is blocked by McCord, illegally so. John McCord didn't think it was, but the foul was called. What was your make on that, Craig Lynch?
Well, from my point of view, look at it right here. It looked like a good block. It looks like a good block, you know, and I guess I can complain a little bit. My team's leading the league in fouls right now.
Will Johnson to the foul line. Tremendous amount of noise in the building. It certainly is one of the loudest places to go to in the country.
It is. I can barely hear myself think here. The excitement of here, the six-man quality of the fans here might make a difference. It might make me wrong for the result.
Could also give us a few hearing problems by the end of the game. The noise is very loud in here. McCord to Burns. Here's Berry. Berry driving along the baseline with a good elevation and the lay-in for two. Sheffield quickly back down the other end with Scantlebury. Cawthorne lines up the three off the back of the ring. Myers tips it to Reinking, and Reinking thought about it. Cawthorne. Scantlebury in the middle of the score.
Scantlebury's going to have to score some buckets here. He looks like he's been passing a lot in the last 4 or 5 games, but he'll need to go step up and hit some shots.
Here's Michael New up top to Brendan Graves. Joel Burns from deep. A rebound to Rel Myers. Reinking inside is Cawthorne, backing in on Michael New, still going to the little step under, fires up, tough move from Todd Cawthorne.
Great move, great move.
There's Cawthorne going strong to the basket. He suffered that injury in the opening game of the season. He's only just regained full fitness, he was telling us earlier.
Here you got to match up Myers and Ted Berry. You got so many classic matchups in every game this year. And this 2 matchups here with the guards out here is real exciting to watch.
There's the foul as Johnson just jumped out and knocked Ted Berry. Berry going along the baseline. Berry with the elevation, too much on it. Graves on the offensive boards and stick that.
There's Graves, he's got 6 now, so we're going to keep counting those.
There he is, just picking up the pieces. Cawthorne off the back of the ring, it's out to Joel Burns, and they're off and running the rocks now. Behind the back from Burns all the way coast to coast. Doesn't get the layup to go, and Reinking comes up with it. 2-on-1 break, Myers and Scantlebury with Johnson on the trail. Johnson going up, out of control. Scants with the boards, giving a wide open shot. Johnson with the rebound this time. Foul inside on Brendan Graves. There's the action inside, but Chris Finch can't be too happy with the fact that his team had 3 open shots there and didn't come up with any points.
Well, they never do that against my team. It seems like every time they shoot, they score. But right now, they're getting the shots they want, the shots that their offense works for, and they need to hit those shots. Otherwise, they're not the Sheffield that we all fear.
Johnson gives Sheffield the lead. And double as Michael New grabs it away from Brendan Graves.
In saying that, Sheffield's missing shots are still 1 point ahead, so if they start hitting them, it could change the game.
Burns looking for things to happen on the offense, tries to get it to McCord out top. Here he is. Time ticking down on the Sheffield offense, the Edinburgh offense as Michael New hits the bucket. Here's Reinking off the high screen. Burns diving at him, but couldn't get there to prevent, but McCord is off and running. McCord with the sweet pass to New, double pump. And he perhaps made that shot a little bit too difficult for himself.
Yeah, he had the position there. He needed to just think about it a second longer.
Richard Windle checking in for the first time tonight as Todd Cawthorne goes to the bench. Here's another look at Michael New. I think he got scared of getting blocked there.
I don't know what he was thinking. He think McCord or somebody's going to be up there with him.
Here's Windle. Myers pulls up, sweet shot from Terrell Myers.
Well, we mentioned the Scantlebury-McCord matchup that Kevin did, and I think Pete's doing a great job on it so far. McCord's not really, I don't think he scored in the game yet.
Edinburgh regained the lead. And that is the 6th change of leads in the game so far. Wendell off a great feed from Myers, count the basket, and the foul is called. Here's a great looking pass from Myers to find Wendell open, and the foul is on Graves.
What I have to say, it's a man's game out there, and the refs really should let that kind of stuff just go and just let the game flow, because not enough contact really between two big guys out there to call something like that, I don't think.
The second foul on Graves, the 5th on Edinburgh, just one the other way against the Sheffield Sharks. Ian McLean coming into the game for the first time tonight.
I'll have to be careful what I say here. All the referees will be mad at me after this game. So
what you got to be careful of, Craig, is make sure none of these two guys are doing your game next week.
I'll get a technical, just walk out the floor next game.
Here's Joel Burns once again going against Nate Reinking. McCall finds New under pressure from Wendell, hits the jumper. Myers with the quick step on Berry, and there's a defensive foul once again as Myers goes past Berry. Foul number 2 on Ted Berry. Here's another look at it, Craig, and it's number 2 on him. They've already got 2 on the big man Graves. They can't afford to get in too much foul trouble, can't they?
Yeah, the guards can't put their hands, they're calling it this year, they can't put their hands on the guys because the referees are calling it, but that will be a problem for Edinburgh. They lose Graves, they lose Berry to 3 or 4 fouls in the first half, and Sheffield looks like the winning team.
At the line then for the second. Makes them both. Burns looking for some action between New and Berry. Instead goes the other way to McCall. Berry comes all the way around from the far corner to come get it. Now he goes on his own. Oh, what a move by Ted Berry! A pretty play. Count the basket and the foul is called.
Well, that's Ted Berry in full flight there. That's what he does so well. And that's where Jimmy Brandon right now regretting that second foul, because he's probably thinking about taking him out, and he just gone in there and scored a great basket.
I think indeed Ross Friss has stood here ready to get in to the ball game. I think he will for Berry should Ted make this shot, which he does. And yes, indeed, Ted Berry after that 3-point play will go to the bench. Reinking falling off balance, rebound Michael New, and the Rocks are up and running down court with Fritz. The court in the low post, screaming for it, gets it, goes inside, foul, counted again. Another 3-point play for the Rocks, this time John McCord.
John McCord's a patient player. That's his first basket here, but good timing. John always knows when his team needs a basket, and he can go ahead and produce something for you.
So the Edinburgh Rocks here potentially going 4 points up with 2 players on the bench and 2 fouls. It can't go much better than that, can it?
Well, Jimmy's got to be pleased right now. He's just kind of maintained some intensity. The crowd is excited about there with the last 2 baskets by Berry and McCord. But it's early days.
Double foul called off the ball on 20 yellow, which is Richard Wendell and Michael New of the Edinburgh Rocks. Now if foul number 2 on Richard Wendell. And there it is in the top right of your screen, the pair of them pushing and shoving in the low post. And and the referee's called it.
I think the referee might just said, stop it, fellas, because that's going to be a big foul on Michael New now. Already Edinburgh looks to be fouled. It looked like my team out there, just doing too many fouls in the first quarter. They're going to be at the free throw line. That's going to hurt them.
There's a foul on Sefris, just not quite quick enough to keep up with Nate Reinking. That was foul number 8.
Foul number 8
on the Edinburgh Rocks.
Yeah.
We still got a couple of minutes to go here in the first quarter. The Sharks in the penalty, but only just with foul number 4 at the other end.
And they've got some good free throw shooters, Sheffield, and this is part of their game. Just keep playing team basketball, let people foul you, and go to the line.
Nate Reinking, one of the better free throw shooters, I was about to say, as it comes out. McCord to New. Burns going a scenic route from side to side. McLean, double pump off the glass, doesn't go. And Michael Payne with the boards. Wendell up top, lines up a 3, way short, he knew it, tried to chase it down, McCord got it first, quick feed to Newton, but couldn't quite get under control enough to make the layup.
When you got Payne out there and McKinney and Ranking, that may not be Sheffield's best shot. Wendell out there, give him credit for shooting it though.
Nate Reinking came down and said, there you go, Richard, I'm the guy that shoots the threes, and knocks it out. 22 apiece here as we tick down time on the first quarter of tonight's game. McCord to McLean, lines up a 3. Sefris fighting for it, but can only tip it out of bounds at the Sharks ball. 3.5 second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. So Edinburgh may just get it back with enough time for a shot. This is 3-point shooting so far tonight. Only Nate Reinking has converted from deep. Sloppy pass from Wendell. McCord almost picked it off, but Payne did enough. Reinking looking to tick time down. He's had a look at the game clock. He's going to check the shot clock as well. Cawthorne fires up for 3. Yes, Todd Cawthorne hits the 3. Edinburgh need to come back quick. McCord from the halfway line on the buzzer is off the mark, and it's been a thrilling first quarter here at the Meadowbank. The fans have loved it, but the final shot from the Sharks has got them in front at the end of the first. It's 22-25. We'll be right back.
Via, via. E 3 fatti un bagno caldo, c'è un accappatoio azzurro, fuori piove un mondo freddo. It's wonderful, it's wonderful, it's wonderful. Good luck, my baby, it's wonderful, it's wonderful, it's wonderful. I dream of you, chips, chips.
It's investment trusts, the easy way for you to invest in the stock market. It's wonderful.
The future is coming. You gotta catch it if you can. The magic's unfolding, and you can hold it in your hand. We can touch tomorrow today. Make some memories that never fade away.
Come and make memories that'll last a lifetime at our year-long Millennium Celebration.
Celebrate the future hand in hand.
Welcome back to Meadowbank. It's the Edinburgh Rocks 22, the Sheffield Sharks 25 at the end of the first quarter. With me is the coach of the Newcastle Eagles, Craig Lynch. Craig, we're going to take a quick look at the match facts here now. And the shooting is not too bad. 53%, 47%, not too bad in the first period.
No, it looks good for both teams, really. That's acceptable. You go to Edinburgh's 0 for 3. That might hurt them a little bit. I think that the two-point shooting, everything seems okay there, except that Edinburgh hasn't hit a three-point shot, which if they would have, the game be tied.
Now, if we take a look at the rebounding again, it's fairly even right there.
It's even. Edinburgh hadn't had anybody come off and score for them yet. They need Ian McLean to get involved in the game. Everything's even there.
And there's one stat that every coach loves: only one turnover in the game.
That's tremendous.
So
That's good for a quarter.
And there's the leadometer. And as you can see, both teams have had plenty of leads that just flipped it back and forward all the way through the first period. We're ready to go then with the second quarter. It's Johnson and Graves to jump it up. Graves tips it all the way back to Joel Burns. Burns now guarded by Myers. Berry through the middle. Great pass from Berry to Graves for another slam.
Yeah, there's Graves again. Now, he needs to stay in the game.
Payne. Johnson. Johnson going against Graves, who of course is on 2 fouls from the opening period. Johnson, Cawthorn, went after it and McCord knocked it out of bounds.
This is going to test the referees because it's obvious that Johnson's going to go against Graves. Graves gets his third foul and he's out. Jimmy have to take him out again. So it's important that referees let the game be played down there.
McKinney open for 3, doesn't get it to go, and Payne chasing hard to save it. Cawthorn, given all the time in the world, knocks out the 3.
That looks like Todd Cawthorn. He just kind of waits, he's patient, hits the 3. That's a beautiful shot right there. For kids watching that, see the way that ball just kind of spins back.
Hopefully they weren't watching the defense that gave him about 15 feet wide open court to shoot it in. Berry with another great move. Myers from deep for 3, and McCord has the rebound. Burns to Berry, inside to McCord. McLean with the flip pass to Berry. Berry had it knocked away. Home fans want a foul. Referee said no. They're booing in the Meadowbank as the Sharks come back. Johnson, Cawthorn for another 3. This one's short. Graves with the rebound. Graves right up at the top under pressure from Johnson, gets it to McCord. McLean for 3 off the back of the ring. It might come to Graves, but Johnson did well to tip it to Cawthorn. Myers flips it out to Johnson from long range, slightly outside his range perhaps, and this one's got a little bit scrappy here, Craig. Just a little bit scrappy it's got.
It is. I'm really surprised that since Payne and McKinney been in there, neither one of them have gotten a shot off, because I think that's one of their strengths. If they can come in while people like Rankin are resting and they can hit a couple threes, and it just makes their whole team tick.
Ian McLean given the ball, he's all on his own now. He finds McCord. Berry. Berry driving to the basket, little flip is short, and away comes Rankin with Myers now. Myers to Johnson, good feed. Oh, Johnson slams it off the back of the ring. Myers with the offensive board, and the foul is on McLean. Here's Johnson wide open. Oh.
He saw Graves coming at him. Graves was smart there.
We got 6 minutes, 40 seconds to go here in the first half. It's the Edinburgh Rocks who trail the Sheffield Sharks by 2. Chris Finch with the timeout. Let's go take a listen.
Here we go. Yeah, okay, we're okay. We're all right. Yeah. Listen, first of all right, don't help up. We got to keep Barry out of the middle, all right? Don't let him come middle on us, all right? The other thing, keep him hemmed in, all right? It's not your fault if he keeps going baseline. Just remember that, all right? The other thing is, don't help up so much if he comes middle. Stand your ground, all right? We don't have no box out. When we pick up the ball, we're hesitant. Listen, we can get layups on him in a transition all night. Go with it, right? All right? Down there, the kick out is on, and too much high post jump shot. Go to the bucket, move the ball. Let's go. Don't settle. Settle, play hard. 1, 2, 3.
Right, we were saying there, Craig, that the game had got a little bit scrappy. Here's some proof of it. Sheffield have missed their last 4 shots, whilst at the other end, Edinburgh missed their last 3. Neither team capable of getting it in the basket at this moment in time.
It looks like Edinburgh's really looking to go a little bit of 1-1 with Barry, and Sheffield's getting the shots. I mean, that was a dunk shot by Sheffield. They should have hit that. So it is scrappy. They'll have to go ahead and settle down. The game's still real close.
Certainly is. Just the basket in it at this stage as Ryan King with the pump fake finds McKinney. Not loose by McLean, but it was only going to go back to McKinney. Ryan King double team, did well to keep it from going into the backcourt. 5 on the shot clock. Johnson through the middle, this time with the layup, and that one goes.
That's a good pass, a good power dribble from McKinney there. He's known himself for a shooter, but he's more than a one-dimensional player right there.
Michael New hands back to Ted Berry, backs out for 3. Ted Berry with a big shot.
That's a good shot now. That's individual skill right there. If they can keep that up.
Myers called for the traveling violation, and Jimmy Brandon jumping up and down with joy.
It looks like really now Edinburgh really needs to come down and get an offense. They got to work what Jimmy wants them to do, come up with some different people. Ted Berry's doing a great job here, but if they start putting pressure on Barry, then Joel Burns has been quiet, Michael New's been quiet, Ian McLean's been quiet. That's not good enough for them.
Here is McLean inside. His shot is bouncing off the ring, and Corcoran has it away. Come the Sharks quickly with Myers. Myers round the back, great move, trying to get it to Johnson. Ryan King penetrating. Oh, it rattled out. Loose ball, Roxburgh.
Yeah, it's got some cling film over that basket for both teams. Everybody's trying real hard to get it in, but just whatever they're doing, just missing.
This looked a certain two, somehow came out. And I think it might have been Corcoran's hand who knocked it away.
Joe Burns taking the rest, and he's been quiet. He's had some great games.
Here's Ted Berry coming forward. Chris has just come into the game, hands over to Berry. McLean gets the home court roll, and the Rocks are back in front.
There's some bench scoring. He's come off the bench. They need that. They need McLean to have a good game to win.
Oh, what a pass by Myers, but the block was there from New. 3-on-2 break, Berry with a little stutter. Safris off the glass for 2.
That was happening there. Referee let it play. That was good. I'm glad to see that.
Berry with the stutter found Safris, and he converted.
It was converted. That was the main thing at the end. After all that,
ranking for 3. New is there to pull it down. Berry showing it all, pulling up the 3 air ball. Did it get a touch, though? No, it didn't. And it is a foul. Sharks ball, and Chris Finch can't be too happy with the way things are going for his team here in this second period.
Yeah, uncharacteristically, I mean, Nate Rankin's a great shooter, but he came down, no passes. He could have had that shot for 3 or 4 passes, and they came down, and Edinburgh had a chance to get a possession where they could score. So here they start passing again. That's what they really need to do to be a good basketball team. They come up with a shot like that.
Knocks out the 2. There's Myers on a nice-looking jump shot. Graves through the middle, got it back and stuck it in, and Brendan Graves has really come up big time here for the Rocks in the first 5.
He's doing kind of a job that he has to do.
Myers to the little floater converts. Also in the Northern Conference tonight, the team with no wins against the team with no losses, but it's level at the end of the first quarter. Manchester 21, Leicester 21.
That's good for all of us to see. Manchester's an awful strong team, so it's good to have a team like Leicester playing them even.
Michael New going strong, finds Graves, gets it back. Good defense from Windle to knock it loose. Scrappy on the floor, McCord has it. Shot clock down to 3, but Ryan King with the steal. Ryan King all the way, no defense on him, and he floated it over McCord.
That's where Nate Rankin's tough, bringing it down. He's doing that. He's got a great jump shot.
There's a... Ryan King ran it all the way back the length of the court. Nobody stopped him. That was a turnover right there, but there's only actually been 4 turnovers in the game so far, which is an impressive stat.
It looks, it's hard to understand that because they've lost the ball so many times.
11 lead changes in the game so far as well. It really has been ding-dong. Scantlebury with the boards, and he stretches the Sharks' advantage up to 3 with just under 2 minutes to go. 1:58. It's the Edinburgh Rocks who trail by 3. Jim Brandon with the timeout. Let's go down and take a listen.
Let's go, come on. Hey, listen up. You know what I like about this? What I like about it is they playing the best they can, and the motherfuckers still ain't up. All right, now we got a little bit tougher.
Now, Craig Lynch, Jim Brandon, quite pleased with things because he's well in this game at 3 points down, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a strange game. It has been scrappy. There's only been 4 turnovers. It seems like there's been more turnovers. They're back and forth. I guess they're just missing a lot of shots from that point of view. I think that neither team is really playing the style that they want to play.
If we take a look at the points by quarter so far, you can see the 3-point gap that was in the first quarter is still there now, level here in the second.
That's still Todd Cawthorn's 3-point play at the end of that quarter, which is a big play, and I think it'll keep them ahead. And something's got to happen for Edinburgh. They got to start running offenses and maybe make something happen inside.
Now, we've not seen very much offensively from John McCord for the Rocks. He's only got 3 points, but we have seen 10 points out of Brendan Graves. Is it just that McCord is biding his time, do you think?
I would think so. I think John will continue to focus on the game, and his opportunities come. When it comes down to the end, from my experience, John's always been a real clutch player, so it's a danger sign for Sheffield if it's close.
Here's Burns against Ryan King. McCord out by the halfway line. Here he is. Burns driving through the middle. Great move from Joel Burns to the right-handed layup.
That's good offensive play there. Joel trying to get himself involved. He's not really had much this game.
Windle, Scantlebury. Myers and Burns battling in the low post. Ryan King, though, goes on his own, fires over Graves. Oh, nice play from Nate Ryan King with the big man coming at him.
Great shot. You watch his jump shot. He really gets off the floor, so he can go up there against the big guys and still get that shot off.
Inside the final minute of the first half, Sheffield leading the Rocks by 3 here. Burns stuttering through the middle. That one doesn't go. Ryan King with the boards. 3-on-2 break. Ryan King to Myers. Myers fakes the three, drives through. Oh, what a block by John McCord to throw it back to his own bench.
That's John coming in and playing. That's a big time for him to come in and do something without fouling.
Oh, but nobody spotted Johnson. They were quick to double team him once he caught the ball, though. Myers in the corner for three, yes! And suddenly Sheffield have opened up a 6-point advantage here at the end of the first half. McCord strong off the glass, too strong, rebound window. One more chance for Sheffield to get a shot off. Ryan King's got to be quick though. Running it back, does he see the time?
No.
Window got it off, but too late.
Where's that clock? Where's that clock? They couldn't see the clock, that's a shame.
At the end of the first half, the Sheffield Sharks have come back strong and lead by 6.
In a game that has had at least 11 lead changes, here the Sheffield Sharks lead 43-37. Join us after the break.
The Bancroft women's rugby team have got a new coach.
Who said I'd do this anyway?
He means business.
Just get a bit more aggressive in the scrums, yeah?
But they just want to have a laugh.
Appears to be a very serious man.
Get her on side!
If I start running in the wrong direction, shout me back. I'll be angry.
He wants to win.
If you don't do as I tell you, you're going to be in trouble.
But they're still laughing.
We might have to explain the rules again.
Guiding Stars, Sunday at 7, Sky 1.
To join the AA, call now on 0800 444 999.
Get the most out of the internet with Mastering the Net. Free this Sunday with the Sunday Times.
www.wahey.com.
Tomorrow's rugby stars have our full support too. Lloyds TSB, an official sponsor of Rugby World Cup 1999.
Y'all like chili? Yeah! My family came from Texas State, and chili was the only thing we ate, but my daddy kept us coming back for more. Real beef steak or chicken breast, even his veggie beans impressed. It's what chili was invented for. Now our family name is fine and well, and it's our chili that we sell. But Daddy, why'd you have to call it Stag? Stag?
Only the freshest, chunkiest ingredients give Stag chili its all-American taste. You've heard the name, now see the taste.
It's a scorching 98.6 degrees inside your mouth.
Yeah!
But inside a Wrigley's Extra mouth. Wrigley's Extra. It's the cool, minty blast that makes your mouth go. Wrigley's Extra sugar-free gum, the fresh breath sensation.
Inadequate car? Common problem. So try the new Nissan Primera.
At Homebase, there are hundreds of great new offers this autumn, including up to 25% off all laminate flooring.
Save a bit of money here.
You can save a lot of money here.
Action galore in the first half. Brendan Graves found himself producing early, scoring 4 of the team's first 6 points, a 6-4 lead to the Rocks. Here we have Ted Berry doing his thing. Edinburgh up 19-18. This was the 8th lead change of the first quarter. Todd Cawthorn drops a three. He was 2 for 4 from that range in the first half. 28-26 Sharks. More great first half action, a block, a fake. Barry pushes it down, got 4 guys running the floor, and a basket by Ross Seafris. He hits 2. It's 33-30 to the Rocks. And then Terrell Myers does what he does best. He drops the 3. He's a 64% three-point shooter this season. It's 43-37 to Sheffield so far. Tony, you've had the opportunity to play in this building. As a player coming in, did the crowd intimidate you, or how did you react to it?
Well, I mean, looking at this big crowd, I mean, it give you a lot of energy if you're on the other team. I'm the type of player that get off from a crowd like this so you can upset the crowd really bad at the end of the game.
Craig, what did you see happen to Edinburgh when Ted Berry went out the game?
Well, they're a different team without Ted Berry. I think, you say with the crowd here, both teams look a little bit nervous out there. It's a very scrappy game. They don't seem to be running the things they're going to want to run later on in the season. The difference is when Sheffield have run 2 possessions, they had a shot with Cawthorn, a shot with Myers, 3-pointers, and they're 6 points ahead.
Brendan Graves, here's a guy coming in, 10 points so far in the first half, averaging 3 points a game this season. What's the difference today?
I mean, I guess he's been in the right place at the right time. Ted Berry penetration is helping him out a lot. Everybody's joined to Ted, and Ted ditching it off to Brendan and finishing the basket right now.
What's your evaluation of the coach's timeliness of their timeout so far in the first half?
I think both of them, it seemed like good times. They realized that their teams were not doing what they wanted to do. The game, neither team has lost the game. I mean, Edinburgh's still in the game. It's only 6 points, but they just want to keep, I think, reassessing to the players to go out and play, maybe pass the ball a bit more and get away from the scrappy game that we are seeing out here.
Okay, let's look at the match facts. For me, one of the things, I see Edinburgh shooting 50%, but it's an unbelievable amount of layups that they've missed in the first half, which basically is the reason why they're behind.
As I said, you know, the shots that have been missed, it's almost looked like there's something preventing the ball from going in. Both teams could be shooting a lot better if they would have made the shots that you expect them to make.
And getting into the free throw line, Sheffield was able to get to the free throw line for 9 attempts compared to Edinburgh's 2, which also was a difference in the first half. You look at the rebounding. Remember, Sheffield coming in, one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. I guess they've addressed that. They lead by 5 rebounds in the first half.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, you got all the guys that's going to the rebound, even the guards getting a lot of loose rebounds. And that's good when your guards go for rebounds like that.
And you have turnovers, which would be for both teams a great game of moving the ball and not throwing it away, where you only have 4 turnovers combined in a game, not bad.
That's tremendous. It's hard to believe that's the case, but I guess most of the time when the transition's changing, it's because they're missing easy shots.
Okay, now as we look at the next page here, the leadometer shows that this is one of those games where the score has flipped back and forth. I think we're looking at a minimum of 12 lead changes in this game. And, that has made a difference so far. Okay, now, here in the first half, Jimmy Brandon goes down at 6. Coaching-wise, what will he be saying to his guys at halftime?
I think he's got to be happy. Sheffield's the league leaders last year. He's got to be positive. He's got to maybe have him settle down a little bit more. John McCord's been quiet, but that's okay. John McCord can be quiet and come good later. I think that he'll tell Ian McLean and certain players, Joel Burns, to get involved a bit more.
Here you have this style of game. We're going up and down. Which team does it favor?
Well, it really doesn't favor any team until the end of the game, because the ball can bounce anyway, So right now, Nate Rankin has picked up his game, and he's flowing right now. So, hey, look out. John McCoy still can get loose.
Okay, so our sources are lurking, and as the information leaks out, Suzanne Dando gathers it all, and then it becomes Sue's News.
The first championship game ever played at Derby's new home court, the Thunderdome, saw the Storm play host to Milton Keynes. A strong second quarter by the Storm broke the game, and they went on to win 94-85. Darian Evans led all scorers with 33 points. Following their poor start to the season with no wins from 5 games, Tim Darling, Leicester Riders head coach, has cut John Potter. No replacement has yet been announced. Following the departure of Randy Duck, the Towers have now released Ray Schultz, but announced the signing of point guard Ruben Nemhard. Former London Tower and Worthing Bear James Hamilton may be returning to this country. Chester have shown an interest in the former leading rebounder. Birmingham's Corey Jackson has undergone exploratory knee surgery. He's expected to be out for 2 to 4 weeks. Probably the greatest basketball player ever, Michael Jordan was also here in Scotland earlier in the week. He took part in a Pro-Am golf competition at St Andrews prior to the Dunhill Cup. His partner was young Spanish sensation Sergio Garcia. Catch our very own Kevin Cadle every Thursday on the Dave Clark live show on Sky Sports News at approximately 5:30 p.m. And also there's our new email address. It's basketball@bskyb.com. Do get in touch with all your gossip about what's going on in British basketball. Remember, that's basketball@bskyb.com. Tony Corcoran of Ireland emailed last week to ask if the slam dunk competition would be reintroduced at the All-Star game. Well, Tony, the BBL have made no final decision on the format at the moment for the game next Friday, but we'll keep you posted. In the reverse of the opening game of the season, Chester Jets entertain the Thames Valley Tigers. After 4 games, the Jets are winless and will be hoping for a turnaround to lift off their season. It's North versus South when the Sharks entertain the Bears, and the Giants travel to the Leopards. Midweek and the underdogs may have their day. In the National Cup, Leicester face a tricky tie down on the south coast against the Plymouth Raiders. Derby and Milton Keynes face awkward away ties as the Uniball Trophy group matches get underway. They travel to Solent and Sutton respectively. Uniball Trophy action again next Saturday. Solent are in action again against the big boys as they hope to upset the odds when they take on Birmingham. The Bears face the Sharks for the second time in under a week. The Eagles take on the Lions, whilst Plymouth Raiders play host to the Chester Jets. Could there be an upset? It's the battle of the big cats as the Tigers travel to the London Arena to take on the Leopards in the only Dairylee Dunkers Championship game of the day.
This is probably the most exciting first half we've seen all year. It's definitely going to get better in the second. Join us after the break. Remember, the Sheffield Sharks lead the Edinburgh Rocks by 6, 43-37.
Wood with the traffic. It's coming up to 8 o'clock. It's time for the news and weather. And after that, we'll be talking health insurance.
Great.
Actually, Neil, what you may find interesting is that Bupa is a provident association.
Sorry, what?
Well, what that means is that every penny Bupa makes goes back into providing people with better health and care.
All right.
Nice crocodile.
Dad, come on!
To find out what Bupa can do for you, call 0800 00 10.
The beauty of Air Canada's Executive First Gourmet Express is you can eat as early as you like.
Defy routine.
Driving the Toyota Avensis, you can just sit back and enjoy the ride.
When the whole world is watching, you have to look your best.
The last thing you need is dandruff. Introducing L'Oréal Elvive's first anti-dandruff shampoo.
It keeps my hair clean, shiny, and controllable.
Wash out the dandruff. Wash that healthy feeling back in.
It's fast, it's effective, and it lasts.
When your hair looks this great, why hide it behind your collar? New L'Oréal Elvive Anti-Dandruff Shampoo.
It's L'Oréal and I'm worth it.
They pioneered Ethernet, and for the first time, computers could easily communicate with each other. Today, 3Com is making global impact across the full breadth of networking, connecting more computers in more companies in more ways than anyone. And at home, 3Com technology is the connection to the whole wide world. Where do you find the leaders who are making a difference? Actually, they're listed in the Financial Times, the NASDAQ stock market.
International football. England take on the hosts of Euro 2000. And after the Sweden-Poland result, they now know that they've secured a playoff place for the championship. This game will also be available on Sky Sports Extra's interactive service, where you call the shots. Only on Sky Digital.
It's a barn burner in Edinburgh as the Rocks trail the Sheffield Sharks by 6, 43-37. Back to comms, Craig and Daniel.
Thank you very much, Kevin. We're ready to get off and underway here in the third quarter. It'll be Brendan Graves and Wilbur Johnson to jump it up. Johnson wins the tip, but only out of bounds. Craig got excited there. He thought the ball was coming his way.
That's right. I was ready to shoot there. It was a bit of a closer.
He was looking for that long-range three. Edinburgh Rocks here trailing by 6 here as we start the second quarter. Second half, what do you think they need to do to get back in this game?
Well, they just need to be patient, I think. They got to go ahead and run their offense, and I think they expect to score more than 37 points in a half. So they're going to have to score a few more points in the second half.
Burns. A lot of dribbling from Burns. Now he finds Michael New on the baseline. His shot is short. Oh, great rebound by McCord to stick it back.
That's a big basket. There's John McCord. He's thought about what he has to do, and he says maybe I have to go and get some boards and put it back up.
Myers coming around the screen with Berry close behind. Hawthorne orchestrating things. Here's Ryan King on the other side. Time ticking down on the Sheffield offense. Johnson spinning round, his block by Graves. Away comes Berry. Still Ted Berry. Burns. Inside to Michael New, spinning round. Ooh, it just wouldn't go for Michael New, but he'll have a chance to earn a couple from the line.
Well, Michael needs to put those away. He's big, he's strong. He needs to just go ahead and finish that off and get the free throw too.
Looked really disappointed with himself when that one rolled out. Michael New makes the first. He, of course, played with Jim Brandon at Manchester. And then came to Edinburgh when Jim asked him about Christmas last year, just after Christmas, I think it was.
I think Jim really has a lot of respect for Michael, and I think he sees him as a real important cog to him having any success this year.
He was Newcastle before that, but that was before you were there.
That was before I was there, yeah. He was a crowd favorite. He works hard, and I think Michael will give it everything 100%. You can tell in his face right now.
Here he is with the ball, handing over to Joel Burns.
Again, these guard matchups are so important to this game. Myers, Burns, okay, now they've changed in their rankings on Berry, so they've actually changed what was happening in the first half.
McCord to the runner off the pass, and he said he hadn't scored many points in the first half. He's already topped that here in the second.
I thought he might save some of that for the fourth quarter, but he decided maybe he'd have to keep that average up a little bit, so he's going to do a bit in the third quarter here.
He's had 2 30-point games this season. He's on 7 right now. He averages 25.
If he gets about 20 points, and Edinburgh's got a real good shot to win this game.
Scanterby short on the 3. Cawthorne tipped it away from Michael New, and the Rocks get it back.
I think the other positive thing is that Jimmy Brannon has survived the foul trouble. I don't think anybody has 3, so they can go out and play defense, which they'll have to do the second half.
Berry and Graves picked up 2 fouls each early on. They both remain on 2, and they're the only players on the Edinburgh side to have 2. Here's Berry with a quick release 3. Ooh, not quite. Michael New trying to chase it down, but couldn't quite get there in time.
I think he was thinking about diving on that, but he didn't know what was behind that Daily Dunker sign. So
there was a couple of young kids that were getting nervous as he came running in the front row there. Reinking with a little chat with Cawthorn as they discuss the play. It's a high screen, then Reinking with the stutter over Graves. And he really does have a high off on that.
That's a beautiful shot. He's got such control. He can change his shot so many different ways.
Real nice soft touch there from Nate Reinking over the 6'10" and jumping Brendan Graves. Oh, nice move by Joel Burns at the other end. Myers double teamed.
That's right.
Saves it to Reinking. Ooh, in and out for 3. Rebound Cawthorn though, and Cawthorn smartly gets it back out to Myers. Wide open to Terrell Myers, and you can't give the MVP that sort of space.
Well, the guards are playing now. Reinking, we got Burns, we got Myers, so the guards will come out to play.
I think Terrell Myers had more defense in the warm-ups at halftime than he did right there.
That can be a tough shot sometimes. Nobody's on you.
The second chance points there, 16 points from 9 rebounds by the Sheffield Sharks. That's really good point production by the Sharks there.
Yeah, that'll win games there. I think if you can go ahead and get a second shot, put it in, convert it, then your offense is really working.
That was foul number 2 on Terrell Myers as he and Berry went hard to the ground.
Michael Payne's been brought in. But they lose with Pete going out defensively, though. If Michael Payne can hit a 3, then he's doing his job out there.
Burns again faced with his teammate of last year, Reinking. And Berry looking to go one-on-one with Myers here. They've been having quite a battle tonight. Good feed though to Graves. Graves going strong, but one too many steps from the big man there as he tried to get close to the basket.
That's unfortunate. He's done so well. He's trying to do a little bit extra there, a little bit too far away from the basket. Difficult to see his feet if they actually move, but he's trying out there. Maybe he wants to score 20 this game.
That only the 4th turnover of the game by Edinburgh. As Myers scores at the other end, Sheffield have only coughed it up once in nearly 25 minutes of play. Berry with a sweet pass, but ripped away. I think it was Cawthorn as the foul was called.
Tremendous vision there, tremendous vision to see the big guy. I guess Cawthorn thought there's nothing else he can do. That was going to go down. So let's see if it's a good foul. Graves goes up, hits both of them. Hopefully that won't hurt Cawthorn in the 4th quarter.
Graves makes the first. And Brendan Graves is the leading scorer on the Edinburgh side so far tonight.
That's 12 points. Yeah.
Well, down in Manchester, the Giants have just edged away here at the end of the first half. It's the Manchester Giants 33, the Leicester Riders 38. Sorry, Giants 33 Riders. Cawthorn backing in on McCord. Johnson after it is fouled underneath by McLean.
How's Johnson doing? He goes to the boards and he needs it when people are shooting. He knows Todd's going to shoot that. He's thinking, I'm going to get an offensive rebound.
I said as Ian McLean came out tonight, probably the best Scottish player to have played the game. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, Ian McLean's, he can do so much. He's a great player and he's been around for a long time, has a lot of experience, but he needs to put that on the floor tonight. They need him to hit a shot, to get a rebound, to get on the end of it, or something to really help them.
used to play with the old Livingston side back in the late 80s, as Michael Payne hits a three.
Michael got a three, so he's going to stay out there for a while, I think. And as long as he's hitting that three, then Sheffield's going to win basketball games.
McCord going along the baseline is fouled by Rankin, I think it was, underneath.
This is a real crucial part of the game now. You can't let Sheffield get to any more than 8-9 points. They got to pull it back right now. So Edinburgh really has to throw the ball around, go to the free throw line, or make something happen, get the ball to McCord. Payne's guarding McCord right now. That may not be the best matchup.
John McCord with 8 points so far here tonight, but he only had 3 at halftime. So he has started to step it up here in the second period.
Well, he's a patient player. He can get his points any time in the game. He doesn't seem to be too concerned about points. He'll score when the team needs him. But like I say, if he comes up with 20, then they may win this game.
Payne had it knocked away by Burns. Of course, it's a team game, so John McCord will be happy to win and have no points rather than lose and have 40.
I think, you know, from what I hear, John McCord's got real team goals this year for Edinburgh Rock.
Oh, what an unbelievable shot from Myers with Joel Burns right in his face. And Myers, who averages 30 a game this season, look at that. 23 so far tonight.
That's MVP timing there, because right there, that kind of puts a little bit of a nail in a coffin. And here's Ian McKean.
McLean trying to reply, can't get the 3 to go. Oh, a big block by Brendan Graves. Look at that block from Brendan Graves. That time Nate Rankin didn't quite get enough off on the shot. Wendell, tried to find McKinney, but just threw it out of bounds. Chris Finch, the Sheffield coach, must be quite pleased here. His side leading by 10. Michael New under the basket, still going. 3-second violation called against Michael New, who was there for an awfully long time.
Yeah, you hate those 3-second calls. You have to go back and see if he's there for long. The guy's fighting for the ball. I don't know. He might have been there 4 seconds, but in the end, that's a tough call for Edinburgh. But they got to go ahead and collect themselves now, because there's plenty of basketball game to play here.
Not a call we see too often either. I think that's the first one I've seen this season where the 3-second violation has been called. In case you don't know, because we don't see it that often, you're not allowed in the zone for more than 3 seconds at a time, offensively. Oh, another block from Brendan Graves, make that number 3. Here's Wendell looking to go strong, but Graves says, not in my house. And with 2:54 to go, Brendan Graves walks over to the bench. Jim Brandon with the timeout. His side trail by 10. What's he going to be saying to his team here?
Well, again, he just got to collect them a little bit. 10 points, they got to bring it back 2 points at a time. They need to come down and run the offense. And I think that a few more people have to hit shots. We talked about McLean. I think, if I'm not mistaken right now, Graves is the leading scorer for Edinburgh. And of course, that's not really the way they want things to go. John McCord's starting to go. He's going to have to go ahead and go a little bit harder now.
Now, if we look here at the points by quarter here, Sheffield just starting to edge away with it, winning each quarter by 3 or 4 points.
Yeah, just every quarter, they're just kind of making the distance between the two teams a little bit more, a little bit harder. But in basketball, we all know 10 points doesn't mean a whole lot. 2 quick threes by a couple players, it's a 4-point game, momentum changes, and suddenly you got an exciting basketball game. I think this is where the fans, all the people have to go in there and start playing hard.
Now, if we take a look at the shooting stats, still the free throw percentage from Edinburgh holding them, but 7 for 15 from Sheffield, stunning.
Well, that's been the big difference. And Myers has stepped up a couple times. He's got 23 points. He's still got an awful lot of game to play. He's going to get his 30 plus. He's done his job tonight. And just the other players out there got to do the same.
As Craig said, 23 for Myers. The next highest scorer is Brendan Graves with 12. There are only 4 players in double figures.
And they've done, Jimmy's gone ahead and put McCord on the leading scorer of the league right now to kind of stop that from happening anymore.
That extra height may play differences. Cawthorn now hits a 3, and Sheffield are really firing it in well from deep.
Well, Jimmy did sound like a good. That's like Cawthorn. That's his third one there, and they're going to have to stop that.
McCord inside is fouled as he went to the basket. I think it was Pete Scantlebury. Yes, it was.
I'd like to see who had Cawthorn there, because, of course, you just cannot let him in a big game like this stand out there, because it's what he does, and hit the 3, then suddenly you're beaten.
There's McCord going to the basket, trying to spark some life into his team here. Suddenly, they found themselves on the wrong end of a 13-point scoreline.
I think a real interesting thing to watch now will be John McCord if he stays on Myers, because that's, Myers is going to have to use his quickness. McCord's pretty quick too, and if people are watching this game, see who wins that battle.
Certainly makes it more difficult for Myers to shoot because he fires up over the bigger McCord. It becomes a more difficult shot.
That's right, they've changed things around. They got to do something here a little bit different. So Jimmy's going to make him press a little bit.
Yeah, Edinburgh. I almost said Newcastle with you sitting next to me. Yeah. Edinburgh, coming up court with a little bit of full court pressure. I see they've switched back on Myers with Burns back guarding it. McKinney steps into the foul line and scores. And that's got to hurt when you've taken 26 seconds off the shot clock and then they still
that hurts bad. And since they put McCord on Myers, you've got Cawthorn stepping up, you've got McKinney stepping up. And that's why Sheffield is so difficult to beat.
Barry going along the baseline. And Richard Wendell, adjudged to have just leaned his arms forward. If you stand up straight, you get a charge. If you put your hands down, it's a defensive foul. What did you make of this thing, Craig?
I don't know. I don't know what else a guy can do except put his hands down, It's a really difficult one to call. I think the referees have to allow the defensive players to have a spot in the floor that they call their own. And if an offensive player infringes on that spot, they have to just let it go.
Certainly did look a bit of a harsh call on the youngster. But then you're on the road. You're facing the All-Star Game MVP. You don't necessarily get all the calls your way.
Well, yeah, that's true. But it's very frustrating for defenders out there. I know my team has been trying to play defense all year. We've got an awful lot of calls against us.
Sheffield with some good ball movement as the defensive pressure comes from the Rocks. John McCord knocks it away. It's an Edinburgh ball.
A little bit of extra pressure now gives them a possession here that they have to score on. They have to throw the ball around and get the shot they want with somebody rebounding.
The Edinburgh fans coming to their feet, cranking up the volume as Berry finds Graves, goes strong. Second attempt from Graves, tips it back in, and it's down to single figures.
Graves getting an offensive rebound there, Austin. That's why he's leading the league right there.
Defense the cry now from the home fans. Oh, McCord almost with the steal, but Ranking now through the middle. Finds Scantlebury. Oh, what a play from Pete Scantlebury along the baseline.
That's a big play from Pete. He went up there strong. He had the space, and he made no mistake about it.
Still got some jump left in the old legs. The veteran Peter Scantlebury. Barry with the spin. The rearrange is short. Charging foul is the call.
And the thing about Pete also, once he dunked that, he was back. He knew he was guarding McCord. And I turned my head, and there he is on the other end of the floor guarding McCord. He wasn't celebrating because he knows he's in a basketball game.
Now, there didn't seem too much different between that and the one where Wendell got called for the foul at the other end.
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Couldn't see it.
Except that time, Ted Berry was called for his third personal foul.
Except they both went against Edinburgh. That's the only thing similar.
Wendell spies a wide open gap, then runs into trouble and travels with it. Chris Finch not happy with that last play there because Sheffield had the chance for the final score of this third period.
They need a good shot here, 11 points.
Oh, McCord lost it. Is that a travel? Did he pass it to himself? No, said the referee. They carry on. Burns under pressure, falling over off the back of the ring. And at the end of the third period, it's been another good quarter for the Sheffield Sharks. Terrell Myers leading the way with 23. As Sheffield have the advantage, 65-54. We'll be right back.
Franklin is having a bad day.
Right now, the entire city is looking for your ass.
He's being blown up.
I will protect you.
He's been shot at.
Making me look bad, man.
You and I are going to settle this right here, right now.
He's been in several crashes. And he's been nasty to Heather Locklear.
You fat. Fat.
Chris Tucker.
I'm ready for another close-up, Mr. DeMille.
Charlie Sheen.
I get the feeling you're stalking the wrong bunch of bad guys.
The first screening of Money Talks, Friday at 10 on Sky Movie Mat.
Oh dear, inadequate car. Well, I think it's time you tried the new Nissan Primera.
Welcome back to Edinburgh. It's the hometown Rocks who trailed the Sharks by 54 points to 65. With me, Craig Lynch, coach of Newcastle. We're going to take a look now at the match facts here, Craig. And we mentioned it before, we have to mention it again. Sheffield, in fact, shooting better from the three-point land than they are inside.
Well, they've hit some great shots, Payne, Cawthorn, Myers, and unfortunately, you've got Edinburgh's 1 for 8, so they haven't had anything. The main thing here is Edinburgh's only scored 54 points, and I think probably Jimmy's thinking they should be scoring, in the upper 60s and possibly win the game by 4.
And if we look at the rebound, Sheffield really going after the offensive glass there with 12 boards.
Well, there were some doubts about Sheffield rebounding. They don't have McLeod out there.
Sheffield, who have an average of 9 offensive boards a game, they've gone past that already, and you can see there the severe dip at the bottom as Sheffield Sharks are taking control of this game here in the second half. Can the Rocks come back? The home fans are on their feet. They certainly think they can. Let's have a look as Graves and Johnson go up for the jump. Ryan King with the first offense. Johnson is short, rebound Graves. Away goes McCord on the break, great feed. Myers was there to prevent the score. Pinpoint pass, but Myers was there to deny McCord.
Okay, hopefully that's his third personal foul. Hopefully that won't hurt him, but if McCord don't hit these 2 shots, it was a good foul. And I think Myers thinks maybe he can play the rest of this game without fouling out.
McCord doesn't.
It was a good foul because that would have been 2 points. He might have dunked it and it might have got the fans going. So I think Myers made a good decision there.
McCord, though, does make the second. And he's up to 11. Here's Myers. Myers with a great step under. Moore looking to back in on Brendan Graves. Still he goes, drives through the middle, flips it up, but Michael New is there for the boards. Berry through to get. Oh, nice play from Ted Berry.
There's some individual brilliance right there, but I think Edinburgh has to go ahead, get some passes going, hit the open shot where the people are rebounding.
Johnson with Graves on the floor, shoots up, and there was a foul called. John McCord's not happy. I assume it's on him.
He's unhappy, so if we can see this, maybe we'll find out what it's all about. You can't see it. You can't see enough there, but I'll take the referee's word for it.
Johnson goes to the line then. Johnson makes a second. If we look at the foul trouble, 3 each for Barry Graves, Wendell Myers. No real foul trouble at all. There's only been 25 fouls in the game, and 12 of them came in the first quarter, so there's been not that many fouls for them.
Well, they've started with a lot of fouls. The referees perhaps have let a little bit go.
Oh, what a play from Ted Berry.
That'll be the kind of stuff that'll get the crowd going.
So will that, as Terrell Myers just lost it out of bounds, and the Edinburgh Rocks come back with it, and suddenly the home fans are starting to believe the comeback. Berry again, and he's jumping up and down. Here come the Rocks, and everybody in the house is on their feet making plenty of noise. It's down to 5.
The 5-point game, pressure's on Sheffield now, momentum's changed, but this is an important possession. And they're showing a little bit of patience there.
Johnson is short, Rocks ball with McCord. Edinburgh starting really strong here in this fourth quarter, 7-1, they lead it.
Only 1 point for Sheffield, that's not enough for them to maintain what they need to have happen.
Here's McCord with the
big
speed!
Big move, and
yes!
score.
Count the basket, the foul is called. Jimmy Brander waves to the fans, but they're already up there celebrating.
Okay, McCord moves up to 13 now. I don't know how many he had in the first half, but he suddenly, fourth quarter, the game's close. He's scoring and he's going to the free throw line.
Foul number 3 on Todd Cawthorn as John McCord goes to the foul line with a chance to trim it to 2. Sheffield have led by as many as 13.
Ooh. You want those to go in. You need those to go in. 6 for 8, 14 points.
Defense again, the cry from the home fans.
I think John McCord's got another 6 or 8 points here. Still in him.
Myers under pressure gets it to Cawthorn, lines up a 3 short. Myers with the rebound. Myers traveled with it.
Bit of a break there, bit of a break.
Sheffield Sharks have missed their last 4 shots as the Edinburgh Rocks have poured it back here. The Rocks now with a chance to tie or possibly take the lead.
Oh.
Stanterbury off and running with Ryan King. Ryan King going along the block by Brendan Graves. Block number 4 for the big man.
That was tremendous defense there by Scantlebury. Good pass. Graves thinking I'm going to lead the league this year. Tremendous.
Myers backs out for 3 with Berry right there and hits it. What a big shot. And the crowd went silent for about 3 or 4 seconds after that one.
26 points he's up to now. He's going to get his average.
Berry looking to reply. That doesn't go. Ryan King. Ryan King trying to find Myers, but couldn't. New has it. New to McCord. McCord is fouled hard, and the basket doesn't go. McCord is looking for some afters. He didn't like that at all, as Richard Windle hit him hard.
I didn't see that. We'll have to see that. Looks like John's
Here's another
really
look at it
unhappy.
here, Craig. As you see, Michael New gets it to him. Windle with a hard foul. And that's where McCord was not happy with the foul.
I think that Windle just a little bit awkward there, really. McCord's got to calm down. He's got to go ahead and get himself focused on the game now, because the game's actually quite close, 64-69.
Foul number 4 on Richard Windle. He'll get himself a break with Will Johnson coming into the game. Well, Jim knows Richard Windle as well as any. He was one of the guys that Jimmy brought up. Bam Bam, they call him, and you see why. He was very strong on that one. Here's John McCord going to the foul line again. 2 big free throws here for the Edinburgh Rocks.
Good. He's got to hit these. I think also a couple possessions before, Edinburgh came down and didn't run their offense really. It was a big possession. They came down, took one shot, no passes, and if they do that, they'll be in trouble against Sheffield.
Chris Finch having a word with Ian McKinney, who's coming into the game, as is Ian McLean for the Rocks. As John McCord goes to the bench, do you think that's just a tactic just to calm John down after that last?
It may be. I think John's actually was using a tactic to get the crowd and get his guys going a little bit, because it didn't look like a vicious foul. I think he just wants to get excited, so I hope it doesn't work against Jimmy. They're taking him out there.
Hawthorne shot is short. Johnson with the tip. McLean comes up with it. Away's Berry, and he's fouled at the halfway line by Ian McKinney. There is John McCord taking that breather with 6 minutes left to go. He's got 6 of his 16 points in this quarter.
Yeah, John's up to 16, 6 rebounds, and like I said, if he gets 20 plus after only having a few in the first half, then Edinburgh's got every chance to win this basketball game.
I believe he had 3 points at halftime, 13 here in the second half. Second top scorer in the country with 25 a game behind number 11 for Sheffield, Terrell Myers, who's well on his way to his 30-point average.
Well, they're looking to pass the ball, looking to get a good shot or get fouled. And see, this will be good because Sheffield is fouling now. They keep fouling, and Edinburgh can actually go and get some points from the free throw line.
Foul is called. It's on the floor. If you look, there's the foul there. And there's the shot, so the score wouldn't count, but Sheffield in the penalty, so it will be 2 shots for Joel Burns.
The fouls have picked up in the last 3 or 4 minutes. We just talked about how they had many fouls. The crowd's up on their feet. Everybody, expecting this game to go down to the wire.
Joel Burns at the line is a very good foul shooter. He's yet to miss this season.
And I think Burns will be the wrong guy to foul.
It's a 1-point ball game with less than 6 to play, and this one is going down to the wire. Ted Berry with the defensive foul. It's foul number 4 on Ted Berry, and 3 of them have come defending Terrell Myers just like that.
See, this crowd, they're all on their feet. They remember Ted Berry hitting that shot last year against Chester. So, it's real important that Ted Berry stays in there because it gives the crowd the confidence that something's going to happen.
There's the foul trouble.
Berry's got a guard ranking. He's a tough guy to guard.
Johnson. Myers under pressure from Burns, still gets it off. Hawthorne tips it to Reinking. Reinking hits, and a big offensive play by Todd Hawthorne.
Another offensive rebound by Sheffield. They needed that. The shot wasn't the right one, but they got the ball, and Reinking put it in.
Here's Ted Berry. Berry knocked away by Myers. Graves is fouled. Graves going after the rebound, and Johnson just going for the block. And Brendan Graves goes to the line.
Edinburgh
2 for 2 from the line.
They can win this game for the line. They're shooting well. They're confident. They've only missed 2 all night.
18 of 20 as a team.
That's tremendous shooting. That'll win basketball games.
It's down to 1 again. We're inside the final 5. Cawthorn gets it into Myers in the post. Ryan King on the runner.
They show some patience, 3 or 4 passes. They got the ball to Rankin, who's high hit the last one. I mean, Sheffield's still a good basketball team. This is undecided, and the fans here are really impressed. Most of them are standing up right now, and there's still plenty of time left in this basketball game, over 4 minutes. So their legs are going to be tired as well as the players.
They've been standing up for most of this second half. It's fair to say they've been enjoying the action. Burns wide open to tie it. Yes! Joel Burns levels the game at 73.
That's a big shot for Joel Burns. He's been quiet. It's his turn to step up.
And the volume is cranked up just a little bit more on the defensive. Rankin slipped, but still got the shot off. Johnson fight for it. Graves comes up with it. Edinburgh off and running, a chance to regain the lead. Berry to McCord. No, it comes out. McCord again at the second attempt, and Edinburgh, who trailed by as many as 13, have the lead with 3.5 to play. No, they don't, because Myers nets another 3. Terrell Myers, 5 of 6 from three-point land. They're playing at the other end with a layup.
This is all good stuff right now. You just can't relax for a second. Ian McLean takes it up on Johnson. That's not an easy thing to do. It shows that he wants to win this game.
Terrell Myers gets it inside to Johnson, and he's fouled by Ian McLean. The interesting thing about Terrell Myers is as soon as he got the ball, 2 guys went running at him. He's missed a couple of shots all night. Stunning form for Terrell Myers, and it's given Sheffield some other options inside because of that double team.
That's right. You know, you got people like Johnson. You got Cawthorn. I mean, he was MVP last year. He was voted by the coaches because he's a clutch player. He's shown that. So you know, I think McCord's out there. You got Berry out there. You got a lot of clutch players in this league now.
Rankin gets it into Myers. Another 3, not this time. That's only the second he's missed all night, but Sheffield come up with the rebound. Chris Finch waves Will Johnson out of the way, and he goes up top. Myers is fouled by Brendan Graves.
That's 4 on Graves now. They're still, you know, they need him in there. He's playing well. Big body in there. 2:34 to go. He needs to be smart. That wasn't a good foul. He should have just went up and just made it difficult. Hey, you got to.
It would be a big hole if he was forced to leave the game for fouls, no doubt. 16 points, 8 boards for the big man as Ryan King hits the jumper that puts Sheffield back in front.
You gotta like that shot of Rankin. You got so many shooters out there that anything can happen.
McLean for 3, it's way off, but it's landed in the hands of New, who's fouled as he went up by Will Johnson.
Okay, now Michael New's been quiet. This is his turn. Go to the free throw line. Edinburgh's been hitting free throws. They're still in the game. These are probably 2 of the biggest free throws in the game so far.
Joel Burns checks back in. Ian McLean goes to the bench.
And I think that the way this...
There's the score from Manchester at the end of 3. It seems that Manchester are pulling away with that one. They lead now by 12, 61-49.
Say the way the league's set up this year, these teams are going to play each other 4 times. We're going to play both these both these teams 4 times. So it's an awful lot of exciting basketball for people around the league, game in and game out.
Michael New then going for what Craig described as 2 of the biggest free throws of the game. And I wouldn't argue with him with 2 minutes to go and he's side down 1. And he finds nothing but the bottom of the net on that one. Edinburgh have been stunning from the foul line this evening. And he makes them both.
Now this might be one of the most important defensive situations Edinburgh finds himself in.
2 minutes left in the ball game, or at least in regulation as Myers goes running. Rebound John McCord. Craig Lynch, who's going to win this game?
I wouldn't put money on it. I'd still have to go with Sheffield. They've been here so many times. I feel like they're going to pass the ball around. I don't know.
This Edinburgh crowd is making some noise, trying to help the Rocks. Don't forget, last year when we were up here, Ted Berry on the buzzer with a game winner against Chester. Could he be doing it again? He's lining up a 3 now off the back of the ring. Myers with the boards. 3-on-3 break. Myers with the stutter, looking for Johnson. Johnson from the foul line hits, and the Sharks are back in front.
You have to remember, Sheffield are the league champions from last year. They got all that experience, all that confidence. Edinburgh's trying to go get things going for themselves this year. They got a lot of ambition, but a lot of games to play.
Michael New going strong against Johnson. The foul is called on Will Johnson, and New will go to the line.
Another foul on Will Johnson goes to 4. A lot of fouls going on here. We're going to lose one of the main players here. I don't know who it's going to be before this game's out. 1 minute to go. I think from Edinburgh, they're going to hope it's not Ted Berry. Because Ted Berry hit a shot against us before last second of the game.
The referee just having a word with the commissioner. As they wipe up some perspiration off the floor. Michael New nets what is the 24th attempt from the foul line by Edinburgh. 22 of those foul shots have come here in the second half. They only had 2 in the first half. They are 23 from 25 from the line, and that is why they lead this ball game by a point with a minute to play. Brian King to Myers. Myers going against Burns with the fall away. Oh, what a tough shot from Terrell Myers. Make that 31 personal points for Myers.
Yeah, he's a clutch player, you know, MVP last year. Big play, looked off balance, but he was in control the whole time.
Sheffield will get the ball back regardless unless Edinburgh get an offensive rebound. Burns, under pressure, gets it to New. Shot clock down to 5. They've got to get a shot off. McCord to the layup. Misses. Rebound Scantlebury. Loose to Reinking. They're off and running. Sheffield have it with Scantlebury. He's lost it out of bounds. He's lost it out of bounds. And Jimmy Brandon comes running to the table. 81-82. Jim Brandon calls the timeout with 9 seconds left. What is Jim Brandon going to run here on this play?
He's going to try to make sure he gets a shot with a rebound. I mean, you look at the tension there. Sheffield didn't need to take a shot there. It looked like it was going to go through. It looked like there was going to be a dunk there, and they're going to score. The game's going to be over. It didn't happen. It's what happens. You know, it's the tension out there. Jimmy's going to get his guys, and he's going to have a play, hopefully, that they can go ahead and get a shot from Ted Berry. You got Graves rebounding. I guess really the guy you want to have is John McCord, because he's going to get the ball inside.
Do you leave it to the last second, or do you take the shot as soon as you can?
With only 9 seconds left, you got to go ahead, take one shot, give yourself time for a rebound. You know, you might as well not give them time to come down and shoot a half-court shot to lose the game and break everybody's heart here. So one shot, a rebound if he misses, and see who wins.
There's the points by quarter. You can see Edinburgh dominating this final quarter, leading it by 10. Our viewers at home will remember last December we were here at Edinburgh. The Rocks were down 1 with 4 seconds to go. Ted Berry ran the length of the court and on the buzzer hit an under pressure rearranged shot to win the game. Will Berry go for it again? Will they look for McCord? We can only wait and see.
The big question, they're looking for a 2-point, they're looking for a 3-point. If it's a 2-point, they tie, we go into overtime.
It's 81-82.
Oh yeah, excuse me. Two's enough to win.
Chris Finch is very unhappy there with the table.
Boy, this coaching stuff's really tense stuff, isn't it? These guys really look. I wonder if I look like that sometimes. From this viewpoint, it's strange.
There was an argument there. He was trying to get a timeout in. He was trying to get a timeout on the next break of play, and the table have given it to him immediately. And that is why he's very unhappy.
Yeah.
He's all right because he's still got 1 timeout left.
Yeah.
But what it has done is given Jim Brandon another minute to talk about this play that he's writing.
Yeah. Well,
here we go then, 9 seconds left here at Meadowbank. The home team with the ball from under their own basket, trailing by 1. It's in the hands of John McCord. McCord, still John McCord to Ted Berry. Berry on the buzzer from the same spot. This time it doesn't go. It's out of bounds. And Sheffield have won. Ted Berry with almost a carbon copy shot from the game's winner at Chester last year. This time he couldn't get it to go, Craig.
No, he's been there before. He had the shots you want, possibly. Didn't go. It's a shame for them. They worked real hard to lose one at home here in front of this crowd. But Sheffield, again, when Myers, that shot he had down the court was the MVP shot. It was a tough shot to make. It was a big shot to make.
Terrell Myers had a great game all round. If we look across the stats, 5 of 7 3-pointers, 31 points. You can't ask for more than that as a coach.
No, 31 points. He's done good. He's shooting that 3-point. I think when we play him, I'm going to have to tell the guys, go out, don't give him that.
At the other end, 18 for Berry, 18 McCord, 16 a big game from Brendan Graves.
Yeah, Brendan Graves did what he needed to do, had some offense out there. Everybody stepped up. Everybody stepped up for Edinburgh at the end. New hit free throws. Burns hit a big shot. It's just an exciting basketball game.
Well, in the end, the final shot didn't go this time for Edinburgh, and the Sharks have won.
Probably the best game we've had so far this season. A 1-pointer, great basketball game. The Sharks win 82-81. Down on the floor, he was 5 for 7 from the 3-point line, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 7 for 10 from 3-pointers, 31 points. Today's MVP, Terrell Myers.
Thanks very much, guys. Terrell, you looked like you were going to blow a gasket there at the end. You looked a little bit unhappy.
I was very unhappy. We're a championship team, and when we get up, we gotta keep that lead. We can't let teams come back, and if that's going to happen, it's going to be a long year.
Well, Terrell, you said to me at the beginning of the game that you hope that you're here standing talking to me, which usually means that you've won, and it does. What do you think nearly made you lose this game tonight?
I mean, we started to relax. They play with a lot of emotion, and we started to give into that, start making mental mistakes, and they just came back. They have a great crowd, and they brought them back.
This is one of the areas that Chris Finch has recognised. He feels that there's mental lapses in the game. What can you do to get around that?
I mean, it's going to be very difficult. The only thing I can say is just play hard in practice, and just try to prepare for these situations, and then come out, and then hopefully we can better them next time.
There's a lot of depth in the Sheffield Sharks team, though, isn't it? That's always a great help, and a lot of speed, particularly from yourself.
Yeah, that's what makes us a good team. People in this country don't understand. We have guys like Mike Payne, Ian McKinney and Richard Wendell that come in and do a great job for us. They underestimate those guys, and they come in day in and day out and play well for us.
We say you can't underestimate them. You can't underestimate a team like Edinburgh Rocks. They weren't particularly good in the early start of their season. They came back a little bit, but they are really on a roll at the moment. They're tough, they're athletic, and they're aggressive.
Yeah, they came out, they came out and played hard. This crowd, they just get them going. And then once they start feeding on it, it's hard to stop them. And they came out, we just got lucky. Ted Berry could have easily just made that shot. That's why I was so upset. When we get teams down like that, we got to finish them off.
What can you do in the last 9 seconds of a game? I mean, Ted Berry, his hands went on that ball. We know what he's capable of doing. He's done it last season in the dying seconds of a game, hasn't he? Were you panicking?
Yeah. you just hope that he misses. You just go up there and just pray that he misses. And this time he missed it. Maybe next game he'll make it. But you just hope that he misses. That's all you can do. And we won this. We pulled this game out for my man Andre McLeod sitting in the hospital. What's up, Dre?
Well, we wish Andre all the best for a quick recovery, but we give you this ball as the MVP. Congratulations to you, Terrell. It was a great game. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And what a game it was. Here's Ted Berry with the move of the first half. Here's a block. Here he pushes it down the floor. Nice move here, fast break. Fakes, gives it up. Nice shot off the basket. Terrell Myers drops a big three for a 43-37 halftime lead to the Sharks. John McCord's basket cuts the lead to 2 in the second half, 45-43. But then Terrell Meyer busts the three and burns his face. Sheffield's biggest lead of the game is 58-48. A dunk by Peter Scanterbury takes the Sheffield lead to 11. Then it became the Ted Berry show. This is the third of 3 consecutive baskets. It cuts the lead to 5, 66-61. And you're talking about staying persistent and staying with it. John McCord follows his shot. It's Edinburgh's first lead in the second half, 75-73. And then here, the final play of the game, McCord handles. He gets the ball to Berry. Berry double pumps, and he happens to fall short this time. I mean, quality basketball game. What was your take on Sheffield?
They still, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, they still pass the ball. They're still willing to find the open man out there, and in the open man, they got some great shooters out there. That's one of their strengths. Edinburgh we all need to learn that to play against them, that when it comes down to the crunch, they're going to make that extra pass, they're going to get a shot, and that makes them champions.
What did you think of Edinburgh's overall game of being able to get the fast break going?
Well, it started inside with Brendan Graves getting the rebound and block shots and stuff like that. And I really thought John McCord picked up his game in the second half to get out on the floor running, because he's one of the best getting out, And that really put them back in the game.
You have for Sheffield, you talked about the shooters on the team. They have, many guys that can shoot the basketball, the leading three-point shooting team in the country. Why do they shoot the three-pointers so well?
I think a lot of it's natural. McKinney, Payne, Myers, Cawthon, they all can do it. Whether or not they work on it, we don't know. Well, we work on our shooting all the time, but some people are just natural shooters. I think the other thing was that we talked about, they haven't been getting the offensive rebounds. 4 or 5 possessions out there when they needed it, they missed a shot. They actually came back with the ball. And I think that was real key for them throughout the second half. They actually had a second chance. I don't know what the second chance points are, but they had them.
When you talk about the Sheffield team, you have the 2 guards. They scored 47 points between them. Myers had 31, Nate Rankin 16. How do you stop these guys?
Well, zone. But Terrell, like you say, is a great shooter. Nate Rankin like to penetrate. You will stop that penetration from Nate Rankin. But Terrell, he's going to get his 30. So.
Down on the floor with Suzanne is a guy who hit 3 three-pointers a day, Ty Cawthon.
Well, just said you hit 3 three-pointers today, Todd. Sheffield, throughout the season so far, you've struggled a bit on the boards, haven't you?
Yeah, we have. I've been injured. Richard's been injured, so we've been down in the big man department a little bit. But today we wanted to come out and we wanted to reverse that statistic. We wanted to make sure that we kept them off the boards because they have a big front line, and with big guys like Graves and New, they could do a lot of damage. And I think they're one of the top 4 rebounding teams in the league. So we wanted to make sure we came out and kept them off the boards.
Well, certainly they matched you defensively, but you really went for it on the offensive boards tonight, didn't you? You really had the upper hand in that respect.
Yeah, we got quite a lot in the fourth quarter as well. It was important shots that, didn't go down for us. We were able to get second chances, and that was important. It was back and forth the whole, 5 minutes virtually of the fourth quarter, and it was anybody's game, and so little things like that really matter.
Well, they talk about second chance points. It was very clear in this game tonight. I think you had about 29 points, second chance points off 16. That really shows, doesn't it, in a game like as close as it is tonight?
Yeah, I mean, anything you can get. Edinburgh is such a scrappy team. They play really hard, play with a lot of heart, much like ourselves. And you could tell that they're coached by Jim Brandon. He's a tough guy, wants them to play hard. And so it was a big thing for us tonight. We wanted to make sure we kept them off the boards, and we needed to play good defense because they could put points on the board in a hurry.
And just very quickly, of course, Graves and New are 2 people you wanted to keep off the boards, but they're pretty much on them tonight, weren't they?
Yeah, we got Graves in foul trouble early, which was key for us. And, New, he struggled a bit offensively, but, I'm sure they'll be coming back at us next time. We're just happy to get a win.
Sure they will come back, but Todd, for the time being, well done.
Thanks a lot.
Looking at the match facts and the shooting percentages for Edinburgh, 49%, missed a lot of layups, the 2 for 11 from the three-point line, but allowing Sheffield to be 10 for 20 has to tell the story of the game.
Well, yeah, I think 2 for 11 is disappointing. 18%. You want to shoot better than that. If you're going to take that shot, you want to be successful. They made up for it a little bit with the free throw. They shot tremendously with the free throw line. Michael New had 4 big ones to bring them, keep them in the game. But that's always disappointing when you shoot any of the possessions under 20%.
Looking at these free throws, you look at Edinburgh. They had 2 free throws in the first half. They end up with 23 in the second half. Sheffield had 9 free throw attempts, but only 2 in the second half. So the game really flipped. Why?
The momentum changed there. I think the crowd got behind them. They started to be more aggressive, power dribble, move the ball, and Sheffield had to do something to stop. They've been on their heels a little bit, so they're fouling instead. In the end, I think that it's only good if you hit the free throws, which they did, and that kept them in the game.
So is Edinburgh's style of play, the way these guys play athletically, have much to do with the second half attempts, Tony?
Well, yeah, I mean, Edinburgh came out the second half just aggressive, going to the hole, and I thought Sheffield was in a lead. They had like a 13-point lead or whatever, and they started relaxing and they stopped going to the hole and just passed the ball around. So that's why they didn't get too many calls.
One of the big things of this game we talked about coming in was Sheffield's lack of rebounding, and that has to be another thing that was the difference of making up that 1 point being on the road, where here you have 38 to 30, when Sheffield's out of those 16 offensive rebounds, they were able to come up with 29 points compared to Edinburgh's 8 offensive rebounds, what they were able to convert to 11 points. There you go.
Yeah, when you watch the game, you saw Sheffield miss, as Todd said, some shots they hoped they would make, and suddenly they came back with the ball, and they had another shot, and of course they're a good shooting team. You give them 2 shots, they're going to score one of those, and that's what's happened. So that offensive rebound, it wasn't just the big guys. Ranking and Myers were in there also going in there and getting the ball.
Very clean game as far as taking care of the ball. 6 and 8 turnovers is pretty good for both teams. And here it is. You look at the leadometer. We talked about there were 12 lead changes in the first half. So many changes that took place throughout the game. You had here going up to an 11-point lead or 13-point lead for Sheffield. But, Edinburgh didn't, they stayed persistent. And that's, one of the things that I think Jimmy Brandon has brought to this organization compared to last year is the never give up, the never die attitude.
Well, yeah, that's good because you got your fans right behind you. And I think they gave them more energy at the end. And they picked up and they didn't want to let the crowd down. And just so happened Ted missed the shot at the end.
Is Sheffield better this year than what they were last season?
I personally don't think so.
Okay.
I think that last year they won 11, 12, 13 games in a row. They had a very good team. They had a confidence. This year, you can tell the guys talking, they're not quite as confident as they were last year. They got to go out there. They got to grind some wins out. You know, if Ted would hit that shot, they'd have been, they'd be losing this game.
Yeah.
So I think they're still a good basketball team. We don't know who they're going to replace or what's going to happen with this McLeod situation, but I don't think they have the same amount of confidence that they had this time last year.
Okay, so at courtside, 16 points for Nate Rankin, 10 points for Will Johnson. They join Suzanne.
Thanks very much, Kev. Well, you know what they say in basketball. You never really know what's going to happen, and that was proved tonight in that fourth quarter. Also, you never know when you're going to be interviewed by me, because Will Johnson even was on his way to the dressing room and no shoes on. That was a tough fourth quarter and slightly unexpected, I'd say.
We expected it. We going into the game, we know you can score in bunches. And we had a 13-point lead, 11-point lead going into the fourth. And our thing was we wanted to just contain them. The first 5 minutes, we wanted to take the punch, and be able to stand on our feet. They took the lead with like 2-3 minutes left, and it looked kind of bad for us. But we was fortunate enough, Nate, Terrell, myself, whatever, to make some big shots down the end, and we was able to make a big stop with 9 seconds left on Ted Berry. I mean, it was a great game, but we got to learn to get the killer instinct. I know Chris is going to stretch that for future games. When we get a team down like that, we got to put them away, not let them back in. But hey, we got the victory tonight, so that's all that matters.
Might have been just 1 point, but you're right, it did get the victory. Now, Nate, it's pretty difficult, surely, to go up against someone who was your own teammate, Joel Burns.
Oh, yeah, it was. Joel's a great player, and I had to work for everything I got tonight, and it was difficult, but luckily we came out on top.
It's a team, Edinburgh is a team completely different, both you guys, the teams, in respect. You both started this season off completely differently than last year. Do you see Edinburgh as a team that really could be the shock team of this season? I mean, it's been tipped by Kev Cadle.
Yeah, they have a lot of talent. I know, Coach Jim, he got the type of players he want to coach. And last year, they came on at the end because basically they got the same team as last year, but they got John McCoy as a new addition. But last year, they started gelling midway through the season. Now they have a whole year to play with McCoy, who's real good friends with Barry. I mean, they came off to a good start. I got to wrap this up soon, but they're going to be able to force to reckon with down the stretch.
Certainly. Well, just very quickly, Nick, because we haven't had a chance to talk to you too much, but it's a real backcourt game tonight, wasn't it? As well as inside game, obviously, but a real backcourt game, which we expected.
It was. I mean, I think Ted and Joel just make a great partnership, but the battle down low is just as tough, so we were just lucky to come out with this one.
He's being so modest. He forgot to mention himself and Terrell Miles, of course. Guys, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Two guys that came off pretty well today, but a big basket by Wilbur Johnson, that free throw jump shot late in the game was a turning point for them also.
Well, yeah, I think a couple of years ago, Will probably would have missed that shot. But I thought last year he improved from the free throw, and he's just been playing pretty good.
You look at the Sheffield side. Really, very competitive games this time of year. They lose to Manchester. This one becomes a very competitive side. Is it because they brought back, or you have your own opinion on this, they brought back a lot of the same guys? Not really that many changes in it, and other teams are starting to, advance and catch up with them?
Well, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully that we realize where the shots are coming from. There's no surprises for us. So naturally, as the year starts, we know the people, that McKinney's got the three, Payne's got the three, Johnson's tough inside, Cawthorn goes in and out. We know all that. You still got to counter it, and it's credit to them that they do go ahead and win basketball games. But it's going to be tougher for them because of that. We know what Rankin can do. He's a Derby, so they're a known quantity where a lot of teams this year aren't.
The Sheffield, you look at them this year, are they more of a force this year than they were last year, looking at it from a player's point?
Well, I really think they're the same team. It's just other teams that got better, You just switched up with the guards, with Nate Rankin's more of a scorer than Conley, So I really think they're the same team.
So, down at courtside, the winning coach joins Suzanne.
Thanks very much, Kev. Now, Chris, the only time we've seen you in a suit this season so far was when you lost the opening game to Manchester. You've been in a jumper. Is this superstition?
Yeah, a little bit of superstition. I just didn't feel comfortable putting a shirt and tie on, and I thought I'd go with the lucky jumper. This one over the years has been good to me, and we needed a big one tonight, and we got it. I don't know if it was a jumper. I don't think so. I think the guys played well, and real hard, and played well to win.
So we expect to see in your jumper for the rest of the season?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not that superstitious, but I know I had to dig deep here.
Glad to hear it. Now, you have been known to say you've looked at Edinburgh. They are playing with real purpose this season, aren't they?
Yeah, and purpose is a great word too, Suzanne. I mean, they're all real committed to each other. Jimmy's got a great fired-up ball club. Atmosphere here is electric. It's worth another 2 players, not just 1 on the floor. Can't talk to your players. You can't talk to the refs. It's such a bonus. And it's fortunate for us to come up here to get a victory, get one of the victories. We got to come up here again. I'm not looking forward to that.
Now, you had, I think, a 13-point lead at one stage. It seemed to sort of go away from you in the fourth. You've talked about the mental lapses within the team this season so far. What is causing that, do you think?
You know, I don't know exactly. I think we got some players who really like to take a lot on their shoulders. You know, Terrell and Nate and Will and everybody who's got experience likes to take it all on board on their shoulders and make things happen. And sometimes that throws us out of our rhythm. But having said that, you know, we played great for 3 quarters today, and we gutted out the fourth, and I'm real pleased with that.
Just very briefly, what was it all about at the very end there? You were very angry.
Yeah, I asked for a timeout after play had resumed, and they gave it to me before play resumed. And then, you know, I sorted it out. It was partially my fault, but I think it was their fault as well for not listening fully.
You've cleared that up for us anyway. Chris, thank you very much and congratulations.
Okay, thanks, Suzanne.
Coaches have all types of lucky superstitions. A lot of these guys say the same suit, the same socks. I am just glad to see one coach have a couple different outfits to be lucky with, instead of these guys wearing the same stuff all the time. Now, one guy that's down on the court, losing coach today, but he has to be proud of his guys. They did what they could do. They had the opportunity to win. Jimmy Brandon, he joins Suzanne.
Thanks very much, Kev. Well, Kev's just said you have to be proud of your guys tonight.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we played against the reigning champions, and you know, it was a must-win for them, having lost against Manchester. And I just thought that we really stepped up to the plate, especially going down by 10 or more points in the double figures in the second half, and the way they came back in the fourth quarter was incredible.
Completely different start to this season, of course, all for the better. More chemistry, more optimism by the looks of it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, had a chance to look at what I wanted, and I think, you know, during the season last year, I really saw what players I really would like, type of players I'd like to bring in, and I think that I was quite fortunate. Some of the recruits got very lucky, actually, and I think that the guys have bonded tremendously. I mean, the spirit in the camp this week was incredible.
Well, they say, don't they, that free throws win games. 92% from your guys tonight, it just wasn't enough.
Yeah, well, we've been working on free throws. We hadn't been as good as we'd like to be in the past, and I think the guys have really worked on it. You know, they were very focused today, and I was very happy. I mean, you know, play against Sheffield, they're a great team, and they've been there so many times before. I said to the guys, the most important thing I think about us is whether we're going to understand and have a sense of urgency at the times that we need to have it tonight, and I thought they did it.
Great talent on the floor tonight, great in the backcourt, strong on inside from both teams. It was great to see such a fantastic game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, you know, and you know, the key thing about this team is that, you know, we have various options. John McCord makes it so flexible because he can play big, he can play small. It gives the opposition a lot of things to think about how we're going to play him. And obviously the backcourt, you know, really when they bring it, there's something special. So I'm pretty happy with the way things are going. And of course, my babies are developing. They're starting to give me quality time out there, and I think the future is bright for Edinburgh.
I think it is very bright, and by the look, sounds as your fans, they agree with you. Jim Brandon, congratulations, it's a great game. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And a great game indeed it was, but we look at today, we have 2 games that took place this evening. Here you have the Sheffield Sharks, our game of the week, winning by 1 over the Edinburgh Rocks, and Manchester were able to hold on against the Leicester Riders 76-63. Tough times for the Leicester team. You're looking at the table from the Northern Conference. We're showing the Northern Conference because those were the only teams in action tonight. We told you early in the game or early in the show that if Sheffield won, they would jump over the Edinburgh Rocks, in which they have Manchester, now the only unbeaten team in the Dairy Dunkers League or Dairy Dunkers Championship. You have Chester, Leicester have yet to win a game. Newcastle in 5th place. You know, Craig, you look at that conference for you in 5th place, fighting for playoff position. How is your team playing right now?
Well, I'm happy with my team. I think that we've lost 2 overtimes. I've got a much younger team, kind of inexperienced in some ways. We're leading the league in turnovers, and quite frankly, if we would have cut that turnovers down about 6 or 8 a game, we'd be in 4-0 right now. So we got things that we can work on. Players recognize what they have to work on. The guys like Jimmy's are working hard together. The bonding is okay, and we're going to be an exciting team, and I'm real happy with the team.
So you came in today, I know you said that you thought that Sheffield would win the game, but your heart was hoping for Edinburgh probably?
Well, yeah, you like to see things be kind of equal. I want to see, someone beat Manchester, make things equal. I just felt the Sheffield were just that much more experienced. They're going to make the big shot, and I think the North's a very tough conference. I think it's going to be a grind-out type conference, and I think it's real exciting. We plan on being one of those teams that make the playoffs. So whatever else goes on, I don't know, but we'll be one of those teams up there at the end of the season.
What's happening with Milton Keynes in the Southern Conference? Haven't found that consistency yet.
Well, right now I'm just thinking about you always have to take care of the bottom teams like Brighton and whoever who up on the bottom and you got to take care of those teams and steal a couple of big games from like London Towers and people like that.
So what does this say to you? Manchester Giants on the road, next 4 games.
It's a test for them. Like I said, I've always said, give the league 10 games and everything is going to start to develop. We're going to have some type of pattern of sets. Manchester's 3-0, that's not enough to really tell. They're going to have, everything is going well for them. They may have some problems. They may have injuries. Maybe the guys won't, get along well. We don't know. But after 10 games, we'll look at the league. We'll say, well, these are the teams basically, that have just 2/3 of a season left and they can establish themselves as people who are going to be in the playoffs.
Do you prepare any differently as a player playing at home and/or playing on the road?
Well, not really. I take every game serious. The same. You have to focus you have to focus every game the same. And just hopefully you go out and play your best as an individual, and then hope everybody can gel together.
Okay, so it's time for the judge to hold court again, and this time Leopards coach Billy Mims takes the stand. So, Billy, were you born to coach?
I really enjoyed watching the orchestrator of the show. And to me, that was the coaches on the sidelines. I like watching the timeouts. I like watching them work the referees. So as much as I love playing the game, there was back in the back of my mind a hope that I would always get the opportunity to coach.
You were a college coach, so why did you leave college, come here?
College basketball, you're still working with players that are 18 to 22 years old. I prefer working with the men, guys who've already developed their fundamental skills, and now I like to take them and try to hone on those and bring them into a team concept and teach those men how to succeed at the highest level.
So you've been coaching for 19 years. How have the players changed?
I think players are a lot less willing to learn about the basic fundamentals of the game today than they were 19 years ago. And that's something I find that's a bit discouraging at times, because if they would work on their fundamentals, I think today they're much better athletes. The athleticism has grown leaps and bounds in the last 20 years, but the fundamental skills have taken vast steps backwards.
Are the London derbies still as exciting as before?
I think you coached the Towers and I coached the Leopards with passion. And that passion made those derbies fun. Our players had it, and I think it maybe stemmed down from you and I. And there just doesn't seem to be that rivalry there anymore. Now, yeah, it's still Leopards Towers. It's the capital clash. It's the battle for bragging rights in London. But without Cadel and Mims, it lacks a little something.
So, Billy, which player in Britain that you haven't coached would you love to have play for you?
I think Tony Dorsey and John Wyatt have been the two best that I've seen grace the shores here. And I just really, if I'd ever had the opportunity to coach Tony Dorsey, I'd have taken his 26 points a game and turned it into 40 a game.
In the 5 years that you've been here, you've only had one win at the Wembley Championships. Why has Wembley been so difficult for you?
At the end of a long season, it always seemed that the teams that I coached were sort of burnt out. Whether maybe our emotions, people always said we were a very emotional team. Maybe our emotions took our toll on us.
You seem to be very upbeat. Are you the same if you would lose 3, 4, 5 games in a row?
I just believe in being positive. If I have to be negative, if I have to be, even after 3 losses, Kev, if I have to come in and scream and shout and rant and rave and grab guys by the jersey and pull them into my face and shout at them, I don't want to be involved in the game if that's what it takes to win, and I don't believe it does. I think you have to put yourself around the right kind of people who can be positive with you.
So what's your coaching philosophy?
Yeah, you got to have talent to win, but at this level, everybody's got talent. What are the 3 things that make us different? Hopefully, we play a little harder than our opponent. We never give up, hence the comeback kids. And thirdly, we believe in ourselves and we believe in each other.
So you've been here in England for 6 years now. What has been your toughest adjustment to British society?
I do like the differences. Nothing quite like the good English pubs that we have here back in America, and the social culture here. There's just so much more, I think, to offer than where I grew up in the South. Living in London's been great. I mean, going to the West End, to the theater, you know, going out and doing the things that you can do restaurant-wise, and just all the multicultural activity that takes place in the capital has been fantastic for me.
What is your favorite sports team?
Besides the Leopards, you mean? I would say Arsenal. I'm an Arsenal football fan. My father-in-law lives down in Hythe, and he's always been an Arsenal supporter probably for 30, 40, 50 years. And I think he got me sort of hooked on Arsenal. I know a little bit more about the Arsenal than any other British football team, so I have to say I'm a Gunner at heart.
Line dancing. One of your things, did you carry that over from America, or is that something you picked up since you've been in England?
Well, no, it's something I carried over a bit. I've done a bit more of the line dancing here than I did in the States because I've always been a country music fan. Country music is sort of part of my background. You know, I grew up in South Carolina. My father grew up on a farm. My grandfather, one of my grandfathers was a farmer. The other one worked for the railroads. And those are kind of the stories that you hear in country music. So I kind of, when I was a kid, I didn't like it. I rebelled against it, and I wanted to get into rock and roll and hip hop and anything that I could get a hold of that was not country, I listened to. But the more I got away from South Carolina, the more I wanted to go back. And country music, anywhere I am in the world, sort of sometimes makes me feel at home.
When your coaching career is all said and done and they give you your plaque, what 5 words do you want to have written on it?
I'd like it to say father, husband, coach, son, Christian.
Hey, that was a very good interview by Billy Mims. We had to cut it up a lot because, you know, we had to cut Billy down because he talks a lot. So, but great interview. Here he talked about one of the things where he struggled on, Wembley. Why is it so difficult for some people to get to that venue?
I think what he said pretty much. I think he's had run and gun teams, and maybe people are burnt out. It's you don't know what kind of season you're going to have, and you're hoping that people are going to be fresh. If you're favored, you have a disadvantage. If you're coming through without confidence, you have a disadvantage. That's why it's so it's been so exciting for basketball because you don't know who's going to come out the winner.
Now Wembley is the main prize this year, the only prize basically. You at Milton Keynes are the only guy on your team who happened to have taste the fruits of winning at Wembley. What was that occasion like for you?
It was pretty good being the Leopards that year. I mean, it was my last trophy, and I always thought the first trophy and your last trophy was always the best. And being in Wembley, you got everybody from Manchester, all over England is watching this game, and it was exciting, man.
If you had to pick, like, say, out of the things that Billy talked about, one thing that maybe stood out for you, what would it be?
I think his background, basically. I mean, I went to university in South Carolina, so I understood a little bit about, where Billy come from. He's, his Christianity, the way he approaches the game. I think the flair that he's brought is exciting. I think people like to either love or hate Billy, and I think that you need personalities like that. And I think that his teams have been successful. He's been run and gun, and like he says, he always feels positive. He can make Tony Dorsey score 40 instead of 26.
And here he is. He named Tony Dorsey instead of naming Tony Willis. I saw you look down on why he didn't name you.
Yeah, I was pretty upset with Billy that time because Billy always said I was the best baseline guy in the game, and for him to say that, I got to play him in the National Cup. I'm gonna drop 40 on him.
Okay, so when he had a chance, he let you down. Now,
Yeah.
Speaking of Billy Mims, his Leopards welcome the Thames Valley Tigers in next week's game, where we have 2 teams trying to find their identity. Thames Valley Tigers travel to the London Arena, home of the London Leopards, for the first meeting of the season between these 2 interconference foes. Both sides have had to deal with the loss of star players and have recruited heavily. It's your first chance to see Larry Johnson, Kenya Capers, and Brandon Brantley of the Leopards, and Greg Meldrum, Billy Singleton, and Martin Godfrey suiting up for the Tigers. Don't miss the action to see how the game unfolds. It's next Saturday, the London Leopards versus the Thames Valley Tigers on Sky Sports 1 at 6 p.m. Here you have that game. Who do you like in that contest?
I would pick Thames Valley. the reason why you have Billy Singleton, one of the veteran players in the league. I mean, he's been around for a long time, and he's now with a good team. And it's good to see him with Martin Godfrey and Seaman and all the rest of the guys. I really think they're going to win.
So now you have the Leopards at home. Billy has reloaded again. How difficult is it to incorporate, constantly these many new people into your system?
It's difficult because you have to start over. If you keep some players, you're hoping those players are going to help you and be mini coaches and say, well, this is what we do. I think for Billy, he'll be on TV again. He'll be energized. Thames Valley, London, the whole thing is like Towers, Thames Valley. Everybody wants to be top of that situation, just like everybody wants to be top of the North. So it should be an exciting game, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Milton Keynes, tell us why you're going to make the playoffs.
Well, we have tell you the truth, we have a better team who we got players that energized during the game, because last year when I get energized, I'm up jumping around by myself. Now I have other guys like Calvin Robinson, Modi, even Roger is picking up now, And I mean, we have a great team, man, and we got plenty of room to get better.
And what do you have to do as a coach to make sure Newcastle gets to Wembley?
I think we just have to continue to get better. My teams have always gotten better seasons going. We've started okay. We've got a win under our belts, a couple overtimes. We cut down the fouls, we cut down the turnovers, and we hit shots. We'll be a very good basketball team.
Okay, so I'd like to offer a big thanks to our guest, Tony Windlass here, and Craig, and definitely offer you the best of luck throughout the rest of the season. Now, from the team, we wish you a great week, and like the Sheffield Sharks, we leave Meadowbank with a big smile.
The Dairy League Dunkers Championship. Watch some of the best dunks in association with Dairy.
The Caribbean and the exotic beaches and the beautiful women. And, that was what they craved for. And it sort of filled a need, I think.